Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga, currently being directed by JJ Abrams. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 is going to be a very important task for JJ. Myself personally, I feel like that JJ has to really knock it out of the park in order to satisfy a lot of the fans around the world after everything that happened with The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, the list goes on, right? And looking at the solo Star Wars story box office results, I just feel like that Episode 9 really has to do very well, not only story-wise, but box office-wise, in order for Disney and Lucasfilm to move forward in a very confident way, I should say. So these past couple of weeks, we've been learning a whole lot more about the final film of the sequel trilogy when it comes to all of the different set locations, such as over in Pinewood, Cardington, Jordan, Italy, Sicily, the Scottish Highlands. Many different locations are being used for Episode 9, aside from it being in studio, which is great because it looks more authentic when it's on location, such as the planet Ahch-To in The Last Jedi and the planet of Dakar in The Force Awakens. So looking at everything here, we've also been going over all the various pieces of concept art descriptions, etc. for Episode 9, one of which has all to do with Luke Skywalker and Rey. One of which is Rey in a crouched position in a dark environment. Could be a cave. Around her are blue floating spheres. Behind her stands Luke with a teal aura around him. His hand rests on Rey's left shoulder. Luke wears white robes and looks younger than how he was on the planet Ahch-To. Now, I am most certain that this is going to be a Force Ghost Luke Skywalker. Now, a teal aura as opposed to a blue, I don't know if that really means anything for Luke Skywalker, if it means that maybe he's going to be the most powerful Force Ghost there is out of the entire Star Wars franchise. We'll have to wait and see. But aside from all of that, him resting his hand on Rey's shoulder tells us that he too can interact with the world around him by touching the physical world, right? We saw this with Yoda, where he had the cane and he bopped it on Luke's nose. It seems that Luke Skywalker can do the same here. Now, is this Rey's third and final lesson? We do know that JJ, alright, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but we do know that JJ is doing something very special for Luke Skywalker, and there will be a lot of big surprises for Luke in Episode 9. Now, if the special thing has all to do with him being a teacher to Rey in a sense throughout the movie and guiding her to becoming a Jedi, how would you guys feel about that? Because as you all know, at the very end of The Last Jedi, he says, "And I will not be the last Jedi." How else would Rey be able to train to become a Jedi? And I know a lot of people are very much against the idea of just her learning it on her own through reading the ancient Jedi texts. And I would have to agree. I feel like that she should have a master or something. I feel like that in The Last Jedi, the scene that we got of her on the meditation rock for 2 minutes? It just didn't really add up to me as a real training session. Same goes with the lesson that she got in the First Jedi Temple, where Luke Skywalker was teaching her a story of, failure and essentially trusting in somebody and having somebody turn against him, which is, of course, his nephew. The whole entire thing there, I feel like, is one thing that JJ will indeed retcon in Episode 9. Either, on purpose or not on purpose, I don't know. But I think that we're gonna get a lot of training in Episode 9, or at least a good scene where Luke is training Rey, and that could very well be what this is, where he's behind her, resting his hand on her shoulder. Could it be that she's seeing his past? And that could very well explain the other descriptions that we have been going over about a younger Luke and his interactions with other characters being in this movie. It could also explain as to why Disney and Lucasfilm are using de-aging technology in Episode 9 and are going to be using revolutionary tech on actor Mark Hamill. Again, the possibilities are endless, And for me, a Force Ghost Luke Skywalker, I'm all up for it as long as it's done in a different way and not a boring way, if you get what I mean. I just don't want Luke sitting on a log and talking to Rey for like, what, 2 minutes? And then just disappearing. That's what I don't want. I want something significant. And the fact that Mark Hamill in September will be shooting scenes with both Adam and Daisy tells us that yes, he will be interacting with both characters, you know, popping in and out of this movie throughout different segments of the film by JJ. So I could see why JJ is going to be doing something special with Luke. We could very well be getting flashbacks that give us both a Force Ghost version of Luke and a living version of Luke. He may not be alive in present time, but we'll get a glimpse at more stories of Luke in the past. Also, Mark Hamill kind of hinted about this on Twitter, where somebody asked him about Luke Skywalker before the events of The Force Awakens, and Mark Hamill replied that there are many stories to be told of Luke Skywalker between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what comes into fruition in Episode 9. Myself personally, I'm very curious as to what's going to happen with Rey in this movie, and specifically Kylo Ren. I think that Kylo Ren right now, I gotta say, he's just my favorite sequel trilogy character, apart from Rey, Poe, Finn, and you name it. I think that Kylo Ren, since he's connected to that Skywalker bloodline, is of course one of my main reasons why I have more interest in him than Rey, of course. I want to see exactly where he goes in this movie, and I want to see what his endgame is going to be as well. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.